Good morning and welcome to another fresh edition of your breakfast show, Leadership Television Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Ugopo, your host on the program. On today's program, we are looking at front headline stories of some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. And normally, as we do on the program, let's go with leadership and see the leading stories on today, Thursday, November 28, 2024. Leadership's leading story says after system upgrades, bank customers lament persistent failed transactions. Leading story today on Leadership newspaper. After system upgrades, bank customers lament persistent failed transactions, express frustration, count losses. Banks will drag over issues, queries as reconciliation takes weeks. We have the picture of Yobe State Governor Maibala Buni presenting checks worth 2.9 billion naira support to victims of flood, vulnerable persons, and small business owners in Damaturu yesterday. Yahaya Bello arraigned, remanded in EFCC custody. MNJTF kills 15 terrorists in Kukawa attack. Reps probe discos over outdated meters. Tinubu arrives in France for state visit. Survival of Nigeria's democracy rests on North Gowon, former head of state Nigeria. Gowon, the story runs on page 6 of Leadership. Survival of Nigeria's democracy rests on North. And above that, just beneath the masthead of Leadership Level is out this Sunday. Don't miss a copy. Of course, just grab a copy of Leadership Sunday where you have the section Level is an all-color, glossy style magazine from the stable of Leadership Media Group. So you get a copy of Leadership Sunday this Sunday for a copy of Level. Above the masthead of Leadership, tension in Senate over tax reform bills. Vandals destroy 128 transmission towers in 11 months. From there, we move to page 3 of the paper where we have our permanent page, our stand. Today's stand is on the Alami road crashes. I'll take maybe 2 paragraphs from that editorial. President Bola Tinubu recently ordered the Federal Road Safety Corps (FROSC) to scale up its monitoring of the highways and reduce road accidents across the country. This was in response to the death of 40 members of the THISDAY movement in Nigeria and several others injured in an auto crash. The victims were on their way from Kwandari in Plateau State to a Maulud Nabi celebratory event in Samilaka, Kaduna State, where their bus collided with a truck at Lere Town, Kaduna State. That accident was not an isolated case, as a similar one occurred on November 12 this year. At least 10 people were reported dead, and one was hospitalized after an accident in Yamfari village, Sawa local government area of Jigawa State. Paragraphs from that stand today on Leadership on the alarming road crashes. From our stand, we move to the back page where we have guest column with Samuel J. Kelly. Samuel J. Kelly is writing on the education system, emphasizing 90% practical learning. Education system, emphasizing 90% practical learning. In quote, the goal of education should be to produce critical thinkers who can solve real-life problems. You'll find out more as you log on to the website of Leadership, and also for the continuation of inside stories, the editorial, and the front headline stories on today's Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to the next paper we have on our lineup today, talking of Vanguard. Vanguard is on the tax reform bills. Nigerians earning below 1 million naira a year exempted from income tax. Tax reform bills. Nigerians earning below 1 million naira a year exempted from income tax. Senate to pass bills today. Oyedele, other experts explain to lawmakers, say bills propel to tax prosperity. And also beneath that leading story today on Vanguard, we have the picture of the former governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, yesterday with EFCC officials at High Court Abuja over corruption charges. Beneath that, reps investigate discos over failure to replace obsolete meters. Expert calls for intervention in rising cases of diabetes. Last month, there was a diabetes awareness day, and of course, it was alleged that the cost of drugs for diabetes treatment has skyrocketed in the country. Expert calls for intervention in rising cases of diabetes. Alleged 110 billion naira fraud, ex-governor Bello ducked, remanded in EFCC custody. Talking sports, I'll quit if Super Eagles qualify for 2026 World Cup. Bruce. We move towards the masthead. Above, we have Naira depreciation boosts foreign portfolio investment by 155.5%. The story runs on page 19 of Vanguard. Naira depreciation boosts foreign portfolio investment by 155.5%. LNG shares starting arbitration hearing with Venture Global, says CEO. Federal government wants security agencies stop torturing suspects. The story is on page 9 of Vanguard. Federal government wants security agencies stop torturing suspects. And lastly, on the cover of Vanguard newspaper today this morning, government kidnapped 3 from innocent showroom in Anambra. With that, we conclude the front headline news review on Vanguard newspaper this Thursday. For more, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper. Still talking tax reform, we move to the next paper on our lineup with that headline, and that is Daily Sun. Daily Sun says role in Senate over tax reform bill. Lawmakers protest attempt for FIROS chairman to address plenary without prior notification. Bill will ensure sustainable economic growth presidency. Legislators to intervene, recover Igmin Power 1.7 trillion naira electricity debt. And of course, we have the picture of President Bola Tinubu and our First Lady, Senator Oluremi, after their arrival in Paris yesterday on a 3-day visit to France. Marawa charges NDLEA personnel to remain focused in battle against drug cartels. Rep summon CBN banks CEOs over unverified POS operators. 110 billion naira fraud, court remands Bello, orders in EFCC custody. Ex-governor pleads not guilty to charges. Supreme Court affirms Ezio Kenwa as Afghan national chairman, bars Njoku from parading self. Federal government spends 8.8 billion naira to fix vandalized power towers. Just beneath the masthead of Daily Sun, Nigeria-China trade value hits 7.4 trillion naira as at June, coming from Vice President Shettima. Says volume of trade between countries highest in Africa. I'll take some excerpts from that story. Vice President Kashim Shettima said Nigeria-China trade value has hit 7.38 trillion naira as at June. He said this at the China-Africa Interbank Association Forum, CAIBA 2024 in Abuja yesterday, organized by First Bank PLC. The Vice President, represented by Dr. Aliyu Modibo, Special Advisor to the President, General Duty, said China remained the country's #1 trading partner. According to him, this underscored the importance of deepening bilateral relationship with China, especially within the realm of financial and banking systems. That is excerpts from that leading story on Daily Sun newspaper this Thursday. Nigeria-China trade value hit 7.4 trillion naira as at June. Shettima. Lastly, just beside the masthead of Daily Sun, TUC demands improved working conditions, payment of wage award arrears. And with that, we conclude the review of front headline stories on Daily Sun newspaper this morning. For more, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.thesun.ng. From Daily Sun, we move over to the next paper we have on our menu, and that is the Punch. Punch main headline story today is on the Port Harcourt refinery. It says marketers threaten boycott as NNPCL juggles petrol price. Port Harcourt refinery, marketers threaten boycott as NNPCL juggles petrol price. Dealers insist PMS must be cheaper than Dangote's. NNPCL delays price portal opening, restricts products. And of course, we also had the picture of a former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello yesterday at the Federal High Court in Abuja. And the story says EFCC opposes Bello's bail application. Court remands ex-governor. Underneath, we have reps to probe 8.4 trillion naira allegedly withheld by NNPCL. Fata Soup, two arrested over killing of Adamawa cop. Borno residents panic over uncovered explosives as police intensify search. Beside the masthead of the Punch, tax panel to defend bill at Senate debate today. About the masthead of the Punch, Tinubu to name new envoys after France South Africa visits. 30-year experience prepared me for Koa's job, that is Chief of Army Staff Oluyede. Finish court sets May 2025 date for Ekpa's trial. The story is on page 28 of the Punch. Finish court says May 2025 date for Ekpa's trial. With that, also, we conclude the review of front headline stories on the Punch newspaper this Thursday morning. For more, log on to the website of the Punch, www.punchng.com. From the Punch, we'll move over to the last paper we have on our menu this Thursday, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says 555,000 shareholders forfeit 215 billion naira dividends over cost and inflation. 555,000 shareholders forfeit 215 billion naira dividends over cost inflation. The story runs on page 6 of The Guardian. We have unclaimed dividend retrieval process illustrated beneath that leading story. Power generation stagnates amid promises, repair of 128 towers at 8.8 billion naira. Transport-related accidents cost most children's death, Lagos declares. This is also the editorial on Leadership newspaper today on the alarming road crashes. The story on The Guardian says transport-related accidents cause most children's death, Lagos declares. ABU decries 310 million naira per session electricity bill. Senate raises for heated debate as tax reform bill set for passage today. Court remands Bello to others over alleged 110 billion naira fraud. Dawn raises alarm as diabetes cases surge, may rise to 783 million by 2045. Nigeria has sufficient resources to build self-reliant economy, says Obasanjo. I created more states to douse fear of northern domination, says Gowon. The story runs on page 3 of The Guardian newspaper. And of course, with that, we bring to an end the review of front headline stories today on The Guardian newspaper. For more, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. Eyes up from that note, we come to the end of today's Inside Nigeria this Thursday, November 28, 2024. My name is Winifred Ugbebo. Don't forget to join us same time, same station for another fresh edition of the program. Also, don't forget to follow us for news on the hour on the same frequency. See you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last